Again, Salve,
Hello.
thanks for taking part in this project of mine.
It's my pleasure.
Yes, and thanks for reading to the boys. Let's introduce the boys. This is
Bamboo.
Bamboo and
This is Blue.
How old is Bamboo?
How old are you?
8 years old.
Wow. And Blue, how
How
old are you?
5 years
You're
old.
5. So we've read the story. Bamboo,
Are you ready?
you already know how to read?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Do you already know what you want to be when you grow up? No, not yet.
Yeah.
Oh yes. What do you want to be when you grow up?
What do you want to be when you grow up? An
Ah,
engineer.
you want to be an engineer. Do you want to become rich also when you grow up? A rich engineer?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. How about Blue? Blue, do you already know what you want to be when you grow up?
What do you want to be when you grow up? Blue?
Oh, that's too early for me. Anyway, since we're talking about children's book, about teaching children about money, their childhood, maybe you'd like to share with us a childhood money memory of yours.
Of
Just
my-
one. Yeah.
Of
Just-
myself.
yeah,
Of
just
myself.
one.
My childhood money memory was finding a way so that my mother does not have to give me allowance every day.
Oh, that's great. Being
Yes.
resourceful.
Yes. So I asked her for capital.
Mm-hmm.
I asked her for 30 pesos, I think. And
Back in
in
circa...
1980 something.
Okay.
So I took the 30 pesos and went to the public market
Mm-hmm.
and bought peanuts and oil and garlic and salt. And then
Uh-huh.
I went back home. Of course, also the plastic thingies. I went back home and cooked my peanuts. And that's what I brought to school and sold. So every time, all my earnings, that's what I use as my baon.
Okay.
And then every day, I just made the capital roll, and then
Yeah.
I earn money, and that's my baon.
And that was it? It was revolving?
It was just revolving.
And do you remember how old you were at this time? Were you in grade school
think
or high school?
maybe in grade 5.
Grade 5.
No, I'm sorry. High school.
High
First
school.
year high school. So I was maybe 13, 14, 15. And at first, I didn't know how to cook. So I burned the peanuts. But since my teachers knew what I was doing, they would eat the burned peanuts and pay me.
They were so
That's
kind.
how they loved me.
That's right. So what did this do to you? Did it sort of empower you? It
Yes,
was like...
definitely. Not having to ask for money and working for your own money, that's so empowering. And it's what I teach to them also.
Yeah, so actually that's going to be my next question. How do you pass this on now to your children?
I don't give allowance.
You don't?
I
Okay,
don't.
so how does it work at
Yes,
home?
my daughter,
Who's
no,
now
who's now 19,
Yes.
she works for her allowance. She cleans the bathrooms. I pay her 200 pesos per bathroom. So she has 600 pesos per week, and sometimes when she does more, she gets more allowance. So what she does, and she's so tipid because she
Okay.
brings pa lunch to school.
All right.
So most of her money she puts in her bank account, and only very little she uses for her pangload in her phone, etc. So she manages her own money properly, madam. She works hard for it.
So she works for money, and this is your 19-year-old. How about
Yes.
the younger ones?
The others don't have baon yet because in school they bring lunch to school.
How old is the set?
Eventually, Seth is 13.
Ah,
He's
boy
turning
also.
14.
Yeah.
He will soon have to work for baon this year.
Okay, and so that one starts, a tradition of yours starts at the age of 14.
High school. Yes,
Okay.
yes, at the age of 14.
And I'm sure...
When I started it also.
Exactly. Did you
Amazing.
realize that?
Yes, just now.
Just now. Yeah, that's very nice. And when you go, I'm sure you put them to sleep, you read to them. Can you share some fun memories about reading?
we love reading
Mm-hmm.
so much, and we have so much fun because we dramatize everything.
Okay.
So when I say it's a gorilla, I look like a gorilla. I run like a gorilla. And this little guy, we started reading Roald Dahl's The Enormous Crocodile.
Ah, yeah.
And every time,
I know
each
that.
line, every time I read each line, he dramatizes it. So this one would laugh and laugh until they become sleepy already.
Mhm.
Books are a big part of our family.
That's nice. That's nice. And then as they grow
And this
up,
one we would be reading to
yes,
them.
I hope
very
you
often.
do. I hope you do. And since you've been already in the business of covering personal finance in the country, what sort of improvements have you seen?
In the country?
Yes.
Well, I have seen for example, the impact that On The Money has had on a lot of people. And I get a lot of personal messages that are just so touching. I have seen people, they talk to me about being deep in debt and having been able to pay off that debt and now graduating into becoming an investor. I have learned about mothers who have started planning for Magarbo na birthday party. And then they start watching On The Money and Salve says, and now they decide, instead of paying this much to Jollibee, I am going to buy stocks, Jollibee stocks, and that's what I'm going to give to my kid. So this, for me, financial literacy and personal finance is life-changing. It really does a lot. Of course, money is not the most important thing. That's what we always say. But when you don't worry about money, then you can think of other things and do much better things in life.
In fact, it is when your personal finances are not in order that you worry about them.
Exactly.
So, the thing is, they have to be in order so you don't have to worry about them.
That's
and you can already devote your time to the higher purpose, the better, I mean, what would you call that? Food for the spirit.
That's right. That's right. The things that really
more
matter
important
most.
things like family. Okay, so can I just give you a theoretical question? Can you imagine yourself being tasked how to solve the poverty problem in the Philippines?
Wow, that's
you can be a dreamer. I mean, just give me the top 3 things that you'd like to do.
Of course, get people to start thinking about saving money for themselves so that fewer people are dependent on the government for support and for help. And when that happens, the government will have more money to do more productive stuff like put up infrastructure, etc. And when people have more savings, when people are more empowered about their own financial future, they can think better about being better employees or business managers. They can perform better at work. Because they have the money to pay for vitamins. You know, when all of these things are in place, then you'll have a workforce that's more geared towards performing to the best that they can be.
Not just subsisting.
Yes. Also, poverty. Sometimes we complain that we were born into poverty. That's why we'll be poor forever. But you know my life story. It's not impossible to get out of poverty as long as you don't go into debt. You work hard, you get your education, and then you do not spend all your money. You know how to make it grow. That's what's going to keep you out of the poverty statistics.
So now, you've discussed 2. What's your last?
My third one is education. It's partly this. When you invest in your mind, it's that kind of investment that gives so much more returns than even the stock market.
It cannot be stolen, it cannot be taken away from you.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you very much, Salve. Thank you, boys.
Thank you,
Bamboo
for
and
this
Bloo.
chat.